Hello everybody, it is day 12 of the 21-day challenge. Today is all about balance. We all have balance issues, but I'm going to tell you, balance is the most important fitness component, performance movement component you can train. Because if you don't have balance, you don't have anything. It would be just the balance. If you're falling short on balance, taking a little fall and breaking your hip or breaking a bone will set you back quite a bit. So balance, I train balance all the time with my clients, and I really prioritize it at the very top as one of the most important things you can work with. So today is all about balance. Make sure that you stay in your comfort zone with whatever instability you might have. If you are coming out of a surgery, your balance is going to be terrible compared to what it would be before surgery. And if you haven't worked balance in a long time, some of you might feel really good in the gym, or feel really good at home, or feel really good at running and doing different things. And then you try and stand on one leg and you realize, oh, my balance isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. So balance is really, really important. When you have balance, everything else connects. What's really important with balance is that you make sure and start with the bottom of your foot, spreading those toes and getting as much of your foot integrated into the platform as possible, because as much vibration as you can receive through the bottom of your foot is going to generate the stability and the neurological feedback to your brain about where you're at in space. 80% of those neuroreceptors exist only on the skin on the bottom of your feet. So if you can work on balance in your bare feet, I highly recommend that versus working with shoes. If you're one of those that you really need to use your shoes because that's how you feel most stable, that's fine. Make sure that you have a chair to balance with if you need, or that you're close to a wall or close to a counter. And that way, if you should lose your balance with the vibration, then you have some way of catching yourself. Today's featured vibration platform is going to be the Waver Press, except I have taken the push-up handles off because I don't want to lose my balance and trip over them going forward. So I went ahead and removed them from the device. So if you don't recognize it, that's probably why. Nonetheless, it still is another favorite, a little bit more on the gentle side, and don't really have to worry about the 3 different Rumble X motors. So if you have a Rumble X platform, make sure that you can work on isolating your which motors are up. And if you struggle with using all 3 at the same time, then you can turn all of them down with the exception of one running, or you can mix and match which combination that you want to use in order to work on balance. But definitely make sure that you're comfortable with your platform. Less is better when we're working with balance. So here we go. So we're going to just start. I'm going to start on here with a P2 program. There's only 5 preset programs, so I'm starting on P2. And we're just going to start with putting our foot right in the very middle, okay? Starting with our foot in the very middle. Super important to relax your knee. We don't want to lock the knee out, so keep your knee nice and loose. Doesn't have to be into a squat form, but keep it nice and loose. And from here, if you need to tap the front of your machine just to know where you're at, or maybe keep it over to the side, that's fine. I'm using a chair in order to give myself a little bit better balance. And what you can do as you feel comfortable is find where your hip bones are and bring that foot up, and try and keep your hips as level as possible by either staring at yourself in the mirror in order to level out, or just trying to go with feeling. And you're going to try and hold that as long as you can. One of my biggest rules when I'm working with my clients is you can't touch yourself. If you want to use yoga posing, whether it's, holding, tree pose. I'm not good at yoga pose positions when it comes to memory because I don't teach yoga. But if you want to touch that foot to the inside of your thigh for extra balance and support, you can do that. But as I tell people all the time, it's better if you train balance without touching yourself, because in the real world, when you're walking or you're grabbing something and you're having to balance on one foot, most of the time you're not going to touch yourself. So I train most of my clients to not touch themselves. So just working on keeping that leg nice and comfortable, whether it's low or whether it's just making contact with your big toe on the platform, okay? Now, if this is really easy, we're gonna switch feet. And of course I have the other wall here for balance. Okay, just making sure that my hips are staying level so that I'm not hiking up one and I'm not collapsing the other. We're staying nice and level. Easier said than done. Good. If you want to take that leg straight out in front of you, much, much harder exercise to do. If you want to take it to the side, much harder to do. Okay, and if you are an all-out go-getter, then if you want to work into a hinge, make sure that you keep that knee Nice and loose and unlocked, not locked out at all, not too straight, but we don't want to be in a single, in a really deep squat here. It's all about balance, okay? If you want to draw circles with that leg for balance for fun, we can totally mix this up. My booty is on fire, okay? So from here, we can go with a wider stance, okay? Now remember, as you go wider on your device, the vibration is much heavier, much more intense. So as you shift to get that balance, you're gonna hear it in my voice, I'm shaking a lot more here. Okay, happen to stabilize because I'm getting a lot more energy here. Good. And so if we want to work on more advanced maneuvers, side, back, using that chair for balance, bringing it forward. This is really, really hard to do. And then coming back to the other side. Reload, reconfigure, spread out those toes, make contact with the device so that you're absorbing as much of that vibration as possible. And if you need to hold on to a wall, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that as you get comfortable. And here we go. So again, trying to find where my hips are. Good. If you want to go straight leg forward, you can go straight leg forward. And yes, it's a lot harder than it looks. We can get into a forward hinge, going as low or as flat as possible, bringing that leg back through. So all kinds of things you can do with this if you want to hold on to both at the same time, and with that you're going to get a lot. So if you have sciatica, this is a really good exercise actually to lengthen out, driving that heel away from your body. And you're feeling most of the vibration right there where that hamstring attaches into the pelvis on the back side. You can reach down to the floor, or you can make this even harder and reach down to the floor with the opposite. That's a lot harder to do. And coming up through, all different kinds of things you can do with balance. Whew, I am out of breath, but that's what you can do to get started. So thanks for watching today. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Got another action-packed exercise series for you tomorrow to add to your week of greatness. Have a good day.